Hi, and welcome to this edition of Spyder News. This week we're coming to you from my favorite place in the world, Johnson Valley. It's the home of the Hammers Trails. We're out here this week with the Victor Valley four-wheelers for their event, the Fun in the Desert. We've met a lot of great folks this week. We've been on some really cool trails and we got some great footage for you to watch. We also have a couple of new products we'd like to talk to you about, and we'll get in a little more detail about a couple of events we got coming up. Poison Spyder was the first company to actually build armor for Jeeps. All this armor was designed during the YJ, TJ, CJ series. We've been very focused on the JK here recently because of course it's the latest model. But we've taken a little time and gone back and totally redesigned the TJ line. People wheel their Jeeps differently than they did 10, 15 years ago. And we've redesigned the product line to fit the way people are using their Jeeps today. This BFH rear bumper is no exception. This really fits the BFH theme. In other words, it's strong and it's minimalistic. The existing BFH bumper was a great bumper, but we've redesigned it to be even better. This bumper is not only stronger than the earlier model, but it's also lighter than the earlier bumper. At 28 pounds, it's actually lighter than almost all the aluminum bumpers on the market because you don't have to have that steel substructure to make it even stronger or to attach recovery points. This does have the recovery points as a standard feature, and one of the features we put in this was this little notch, and it's amazing how every inch counts, especially on departure angle when you're trying to climb something really steep. If you look at my bumper, you'll see how I've hit this quite a few times, and if it was an extra inch, it's amazing how much that unloads the rear of your Jeep when you're trying to climb something. We've also added this little bend here. You see this break in the middle of the bumper, and that was not just to make it look cooler, but it adds a lot of strength both in dent resistance and it adds a lot of strength when you're pulling on these shackles. The bumper has been designed to be as strong as you possibly can and as light as it possibly can, but there's a frame tie-in bracket you might want to consider if you really want to use this bumper. Let me show you those right now. Well, not necessarily a new product, it's a reintroduction of an old product. This one's backed by popular demand. It seems like a lot of you are using your stuff just the way we've designed it. And while the bumpers have held up well, the crossmember hasn't. So this frame tie-in bracket is for the guy that runs the BFH and wants to really use his BFH, or runs no bumper at all and is worried about the strength of that crossmember. Or if you run any other manufacturer's bumper, what this thing is designed to do is tie that bumper into the crossmember, but also ties all that back into the frame. So if you drop off a rock, back into a rock, this is designed to make the whole unit work together and give everything just a little bit more strength. So if you plan on really using your BFH, you may want to add a set of these to your order. Well, that's about a wrap for this edition of Spyder News. Next week, Sherry and I will be in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Air Park Jeep Jam. There's a trail ride that ends at the Air Park Jeep dealership. Sherry and I love this event because we get to spend some time with our friends Moose, Brent, and his wife Edie, and their kids Zach and Harrison. Love the event because we get to spend some time with those folks and get to meet a lot of you again. I hope if you're in Arizona next week, you'll come by and say hi to us. Next week also, Super D and Shad will be back out here at the Hammers. As I mentioned before, it's one of my favorite places in the world, and since I don't get to go wheeling next week, I'm going to go wheeling right now. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again. Go wheeling.